Right. Now, interesting. Do you know how I have always said that Julian Assange was a British government agent? And of course, it would be quite natural for people to think, well, you know, he's a bit odd. You know, dismiss what I say. Even though I've sought to back up what I see, and what I see instructs me in the evidence that he is not on our side. That he is a British agent. And that he is not in the Ecuadorian embassy for all those years. It's just photo opportunities, as it were, over time. We've been suckered in. It still remains a fact that there's no evidence presented to us that he has spent those years in the Ecuadorian embassy. We only have the British government and the media to rely upon. And what sources are governments and media? Lying sources. So we can't rely on them. So why are we relying on them? Hey? Question, question, question. Everything that comes out of the gob of the British government and the media. Question it. That's what we should do. We shouldn't go, oh, yeah. No, stand back, it's the enemy. It's the Germans. Huh? Isn't it? It's the enemy. It's the Russians. It's Imperial Rome. Whatever. It's the enemy. The establishment, the British establishment, is our enemy. And the media are our enemies. No matter what media is coming across to us. NBC, Fox, DVD or whatever. Mrs. Miggins down the road. They're the enemy. The problem is people take in the enemy, the speech of the enemy, the spiel of the enemy, the teaching of the enemy, the news of the enemy, what the enemy has to say, and then passes it on to some bugger else. He won't pass it on to me, because I'll ask you for evidence. You come to me and I'll say, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Tell me where's the evidence. Well, it's on the news. Tell me where the evidence is. Hey? It's a bit like being in the second Pigging World War, isn't it? And there's a panzer coming across the Pigging Hill. And the fella pops his head out. And tells a pack of lies that they're here for peace. But you got a Pigging tank. What are you coming down here for? Oh, we're here for peace. And then you're shot dead. And the houses behind you are blown up. It's buggering stupid, isn't it? To think that the government is going to roll down our Pigging Street and tell us the truth. Is it buggery? And the media are going to do the same. Healthy buggery. So why are we listening to them? Alright? Anything that Assange has put out into that WikiLeaks thing manages to get over 1 million pieces from here, there and everywhere. It's been a mixture of lies and of truth and what we suspect. And it's what we suspect and what the truth is that is drawn people in. Oh yeah, WikiLeaks, what says this? Oh, WikiLeaks says that. Oh yeah, WikiLeaks, oh yeah, oh I agree with that, agree with this. And what's happening? We're People are suckered in. I was going to say myself then. I'm not going to be suckered in by this buggering lot. People are suckered in. And then to stand behind WikiLeaks. And what happens? Then comes the disinformation, the lies, the untruth, the propaganda of the British government and other governments that are corrupt. Not all governments are corrupt, totally corrupt like the British government is corrupt. The word isn't even strong enough for the British government to say corruption. It's beyond. Anyhow, so then he's able to sow political corruptness, lines of corrupt politics. Politics in itself is fine. It's fine. But what is not fine, and what is deplorable and wicked and evil, is when corrupt, evil people, men and women, go into a building and they corrupt politics. And they present their politics as politics. It's not, it's corrupt politics. And the people follow and say, ooh, politics, politics. Oh my goodness. Why? Why? Let us wake up. Let us give honour to what honour and to whom honour is due. And let us condemn what should be condemned. Alright? Let's not chuck out the baby with the bathwater. Now then, I still stand by the evidence that Julian Assange is a British agent, a plant of the British government, aiding and abetting the British government in propagating lies, and that when he came up for a renewal of time, he'd run out of time. Basically, the sell-by date was gone. He had to go, and some bugger else will take his place. Alright? It's like anything else in this pigging life of government. You get your CND, well, you know, that's run its course. You know, it's out of pigging date now, really. You know, we've heard enough of that. So in the midst, they were creating a global warming campaign in the midst. We heard it in the 80s. We heard it growing. It had been planted. In fact, we saw it planted, and we saw it growing gradually. Then all of a sudden, we woke up one day, CND had gone, and all this global warming fear was present. And the same script as CND, without nukes. This time, it's man going to destroy it by the ozones and all this business. And of course, once that fear-mongering group, funded by the elite as CND was, to put people into fear, alright, and they got all these mugs, gullible people following it, then that will pass. But if you say to these gullible people, and we'll get to this subject in a moment, sorry about this, but if you say to these gullible people that is shouting up, we must, you know, we're going to be dead in 12 years, oh, you know, global warming, could you tell me what happened to CND? We've still got the nukes, we can still press a button, that will be quicker than 12 years. Could do it tomorrow, could have done it yesterday. Some lunatic, press a button. Why isn't all this here against the Iranians? Eh? Oh, they're going to blow us up! The Iranians are going to blow us up! Let's start a campaign, shall we? Eh? Go up to London with placards. The Iranians are going to blow us up! They're going to nuke us! Eh? And this buggering lot would call us down. It's mad, hasn't it? The world's gone pigging mad. Well, this part of the world has gone absolutely mad. It's crazy. Anyhow, having said that, having said all that, the thing is, Julian Assange, alright, is again and again working for the British government, is paid by the British government, is an agent of the British government. And I found this piece yesterday, and boy, amen. This chap exactly says it. It is amazing. Amazing. I didn't know this had happened. What this chap speaks of.
Sorry, was here.
Oh, just before we start, this is Paul Golding. The piece is entitled "Paul Golding Gives an Interview to a Muslim Reporter." I don't know what it makes her to be a Muslim, I don't know. Because that could be my mother. Hey, do you remember the times when women used to go out, protect their hair, put on scarves? Were all they Muslims, by the way? A Muslim with a mobile phone. Oh well, and a coat. Anyhow.
We're here today because we got a call a few months ago to ask a homeless veteran was being ill-treated by a local council and he was doing a protest march to London. The police turned up and threatened to arrest him as he was marching down the M1. So we got called and asked if we could come up and see him and launch a campaign on his behalf. We applied to hand in our petition with 50,000 signatures on it to Downing Street, and they refused. They refused a homeless veteran who served his country for 5 years. So we're here today to meet up with veterans and some of the bikers that are descending on London today to hand the petition into the gates of 10 Downing Street.
And now we will speak about Julian Assange if you don't mind. When you will give us this stuff, please.
I've got no sympathy or affection for Julian Assange. About 10 years ago, WikiLeaks leaked the entire membership list of a British patriotic political party. A lot of people suffered, a lot of homes were wrecked, a lot of families were wrecked, people lost their jobs, all because of WikiLeaks. So the fact that he's finally been arrested and going to prison, I'm very, very happy about that.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Now, I didn't know about that. You see, call him a mole if you like, whatever you want. WikiLeaks, Julian Assange did the dirty on the British people because he works for, or did do, in that role as a friend of the British public and every other member of the public, no matter where you were.
So the fact that he's finally been arrested and going to prison for a political party, a lot of people suffered.
Now, just want to give it you again from the whole.
WikiLeaks leaked the entire membership list of a British patriotic political party. A lot of people suffered, a lot of homes were wrecked, a lot of families were wrecked, people lost their jobs, all because of WikiLeaks. So the fact that he's finally been arrested and going to prison, I'm very, very happy about that.
Thank you so much.
The thing about it is that he's not gone to prison, sir. That's the media for you. That has told you and told the rest of us that he's gone to prison. He's not gone to prison. He's buggered off a long time ago. I wonder if he will ever be used in some other role. I mean, he's taken the money, hasn't he? The 30 pieces of silver. And he's not been arrested, of course. That was just, again, the media spiel and the government spiel and an old man coming out. Strange, that one. An old man coming out of that building. Alright? And it was all to continue to create a belief that WikiLeaks is genuine, that Julian Assange is genuine. It was a play put on, a pantomime, a piece of theatre. That's all it was. And then we get afterwards a piece of footage from the media saying that this is how Assange lived in this room. Hang on a minute. He's the enemy. And you're promoting him. And yet, you wouldn't do the same for Robinson. Or anybody else for that matter. Would you? Well, the media is hand in glove with government. It's still selling Assange as being one with us. Just beggars belief. The man could have been stopped and would have been stopped. Let's put it this way, would have been stopped from communicating anything. But he was an agent of the state. Let me give this fellow again another airing.
I've got no sympathy or affection for Julian Assange. About 10 years ago, WikiLeaks leaked the entire membership list of a British patriotic political party. A lot of people suffered, a lot of homes were wrecked, a lot of families were wrecked, people lost their jobs, all because of WikiLeaks. So the fact that he's finally been arrested and going to prison, I'm very, very happy about that.
Okay, have we got this?
And now we will speak about Julian Assange if you don't mind. When you're ready for this stuff, please.
I've got no sympathy or affection for Julian Assange. About 10 years ago, WikiLeaks leaked the entire membership list of a British patriotic political party. A lot of people suffered, a lot of homes were wrecked, a lot of families were wrecked, people lost their jobs, all because of WikiLeaks. So the fact that he's finally been arrested and going to prison, I'm very, very happy about that.
Thank you so much.
Well,
What a pigging mess. You have Julian Assange stabbing us in the back. Well, stabbing people in the back. As an agent of the government. The next agent of the government is Farage. That's why he set up his Brexit party, to save the government and to save his own pigging neck and skin and job. What a day we're living in, and people are flocking to these persons because of what the media and government are promoting them to be. It's unbelievable. And people are standing outside Parliament and there's people everywhere believing that we're in Europe. Rather, the EU. We are in Europe, politically, but EU. And we're not. What's going on? We're not in it. But people have been listening to Parliament, been listening to the media. None of this would have been accepted. When I was a child, none of this would be accepted. None of this would have gone on. Because just after the war, everything was basic. Total basic. Now we've gone into the more we have, the more we want and the more we expect, and there's value to nothing. And nobody is few are sitting down and concentrating on dividing up the truth from the error. When I were a kid, everybody went around and they were knowledgeable. You walk around now and it's like moronic city. Truly, you could talk to your brother, you could talk to your neighbour, you could talk to the pigging stranger, and they'd be able to give you some substance of knowledge. But now, what the hell is going on? There's no knowledge, substance being passed on. There's no good manners. There's no manners at all. There's no decorum. There's nothing. There's no morals and ethics. Every bugger's doing that which is right in their own eyes. And laziness upon laziness. There's no family gathering around a table. No imparting good instruction of manners and how to study, and you should study. Oh, this world, this country of the United Kingdom, this nation, this unbelievable situation we've gotten ourselves into. And people are protesting against things like getting out of the EU when we're not in it. It's gone mad. It's gone completely mad. We'll leave it at that, but it's enough to send you into despair. But you've got to laugh at it, because it's all a pig in joke. If you don't, it'll pull you down. Let us get on with our lives. Let us laugh at these buggers and protest against these buggers as we do. Let our voices be made known, but let it not dishearten us, alright? Because that's what it's all about on this side, on their side. Dishearten the people. No thank you. Bye bye.